once more. In this video, I'll show you a quick rush towards the inner bomb site on Nuke. Very important that you know exactly where to run, what flashes, what kind of utility to throw. As said, if you can nail down and find good timings on an inside execute on Nuke, you're gonna win a lot of T rounds. Trust me. Let's dive into it. So the first thing you have to consider when you do an inside rush is it actually a good idea? Is it a good call? The line of thought is that you want to do an inside execute when you think you can catch off your opponents. It could be for two different reasons. One being the fact that the opponents don't have a lot of utility, so they can't Molotov you, they can't smoke you off. You know they're on a low buy, right? And they maybe have MP9s and M4s with no utility. That's a great timing to rush inside, so you have to read the money. The other one could be that you've done a lot of defaults towards yard or a lot of defaults towards lobby, and you want to change up the pace. So even though they do have smokes and Molotovs, they're not ready for it, right? You're catching them off guard. So those would be two good rule of thumbs, I guess, to think about when you want to call an inside rush. You can't do it 12 rounds in a row. That's not going to work. So you have to manipulate a little bit with the line of thought when it comes to the CT side and how they position themselves from the beginning of the round. I would say that almost all inside rushes, in particular this one, is spawn based. So the first guy would be the guy rushing out the door as fast as absolutely possible. Shoot the windows like this when you're running. If you don't hit him, behind you will do. So he's just going to rush out the door, nade in hand, do like this. Smoke the door like this, and then he's just fighting. Meanwhile, the second guy will come with him. He's gonna come out here, he's gonna pull out a flash, he's gonna flash behind the vents like this, come out here, he's gonna help fighting. Fight. And this flash makes sure that no one gets blind from your own team. So this flash coming right here, as you can see, if you're the CT side player holding this angle, you're blind. If you're a guy standing over here, wanna hold hot, you're blind. But the flash is behind the vents, so it doesn't blind any of the T side. So the first two guys rush as fast as they can out the door. They gotta get out there, they gotta fight. So the first two guys rush out the door like that. If you're guy number 3, you have a decision to make, which you have to call out of T-spawn. Either you can go door with the two first teammates, or you can go hot. If you go hot, your goal is to do this flash that's gonna land out of hot. You wanna rid it, come out to the right side right here and help fighting whatever is at this point. The flash will cover. So if there's a guy standing right here and holding you, well, maybe he's gonna get blind, maybe he's gonna dodge the flash. By then, you're gonna come out and you can fight together, right? Because if he's peeking left side, your two teammates will already come out right here and they will fight him with you. So I would always advise, if you're coming out hot as the first guy, throw the flash that I'm showing right here, bounce it off the wall like that, run to the right side. You don't want to expose yourself to heaven, because now you're exposed to side, heaven, everywhere. No point. So go out to the right side. Fourth guy is the one jumping up on the roof. He's coming up the staircase like this. He's gonna flash like that inside the window. The window has been thrown. He's gonna throw in a flash. He can do one, he can do two flashes, up to him. He just needs to be aware that if he's throwing the second flash, there is a chance that he's flashing his teammates if they're out fast. So depending on how fast he is, he has to make a decision. Do you want to throw once or do you want to do twice? Just to showcase you what it blinds is that if you're throwing this flash, the guy right here is blind. So holding hot, you're blind. You're standing over here, you're blind, right? And if you throw two, mega blind. One like that, you have to fall back all the time. So it's important to throw those flashes if you're the fourth guy. Fifth guy will come out. That could be your AWP player if you have an AWP. It could also just be your rifle if you have a rifle. Again, he has to make the decision. Do you want to go door? Do you want to go hot? I would advise always have two guys come out of hot when you do an inside rush. So go out hot if you can, help your teammate. Again, go out to the right side. And I think that's the main point in the rush that I'm showing you right here. It's based on one smoke in main and a lot of flashes. It's very simplified. But the main point of this rush is that you're all going out to this area of the map. You basically ignore heaven. You don't want to smoke heaven. You don't want to flash heaven. You don't care about heaven for now. So you're coming out. Two guys door. Again, main is going to be smoked. You're coming two guys out door. You're fighting this area. You're fighting this area. Maybe even heaven if he's dumb enough to peek, but you're fighting this area. You're coming out. One or two guys out hot. You're fighting this area. If you're successfully coming out right here, you can always deal with the side guy later or deal with the heaven guy later. It's about swarming the side as fast as absolutely possible. The guy that was throwing the flash standing up here on top, this position right here, he can decide whether or not he now wants to go yard and act as a lurk, or whether he wants to use a bit of movement, drop down back lobby, and just make sure that no one is coming from behind ramp or no one is flanking while the rest of the teammates are coming in. That's a variation of how you can rush inside if you want to. Simple, couple of flashes, a smoke, and you're good to go. And that's how you do an inside rush on Nuke. Very simplified, just a couple of flashes, one smoke, but the identity of this strat is that you need to call it at the right moment at the right time. You do that, I guarantee you it's gonna work more often than it won't.